Hey everybody, welcome to Facerocker 89, the official Rocket Jump podcast. I'm your host, Dez Dolly. Great show for you today. We've got some friends, John Karmen, Jake Andrews of Ruby Dog Films, my brother and partner in crime, Benji Dolly, are all here. We're going to get into some fun stuff. But before we do, we've got some updates and announcements and some house cleaning things. So first and foremost, we got some new content that came out on Rocket Jump this week. Specifically, the Rocket Jump Film School came out with a couple of new really fun and interesting videos. The first being a pro tip on sides. What are sides? If you don't know what sides are, go check out the video at youtube.com/rocketjumpfilmschool. There you'll also find this really fun video for those aspiring screenwriters and filmmakers out there on dull exposition. More importantly, how to avoid dull exposition. How to get the important information across in your scenes while still making it engaging and entertaining. And they've made the video itself engaging and entertaining, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't even feel like you're watching a tutorial. It's really fun and funny, and it's based on one of our favorite movies, Escape from New York. So that's over on the Rocket Jump Film School right now. You guys should go and check that out. Some housekeeping stuff. We do want to apologize that Matt and Freddie have been a little busy and they haven't been around much lately, but we want to assure you that they are very hard at work, and they've unfortunately been very busy prepping Rocket Jump the show that premieres on Hulu October 21st. They are in heavy post-production right now, putting the spit, shine, and polish on 8 of the biggest, boldest, most epic action spectacle comedy shorts that you guys have ever seen. So if you're a fan of the Rocket Jump shorts, stay tuned. We're putting together a whole new program of podcasts and live streaming content that's going to plug you right into the behind-the-scenes making of Rocket Jump the show. Again, premiering on Hulu and then on rocketjump.com October 21st. Last but not least, we want to thank those of you who subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, especially those of you who leave a review or a rating, those of you who email and tweet with comments, questions, and feedback. I mean, we do this for you guys, so it's really nice to hear from you. Know you're out there. It's a way for you to communicate with us and for us to do the same. So thanks again. And remember, those of you that are watching the video version of this cast on YouTube/RocketJump2, you can subscribe to the audio-only version on iTunes. You want to listen to it while you're working out, while you're running, while you're in the car, what have you, and vice versa. If you're only on iTunes, remember that we are rolling video on these, and we upload these to rocketjump.com and youtube.com/rocketjump2. It's all free for you guys. So without further ado, we're going to get into today's episode, Facerocker number 89. Again, Ruby Dog Films, John Karmen and Jake Andrews are here, my brother Benji Dolly, and we're all hanging out talking about what happened this last week in pop culture, and then, of course, Fantastic Four being a big box office flop, and then that gives way to a whole conversation on our biggest disappointment at the movies that we were really hyped to see that didn't turn out to be exactly what we expected. And then we talk about, us all being filmmakers, some of our biggest creative disasters. And John and Jake have a couple of interesting stories, and I share one or two myself. So stick around for the podcast. Without further ado, let's get into it. Facerocker number 89.
If you're trying to break the illusion.
John does it. Just have John talk shit about what just happened.
John wants...
So what just happened?
Well, John wanted to know if he could smoke drugs is what it sounded like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Right now? Yeah.
Yeah, we're really into synthetic weed.
Which is a big thing, apparently, right?
Yeah.
K2. We're all about it.
Yeah, dude.
Well, Benji, you're
Get to the
joining
top
us.
of the mountain.
Yeah, I'm here now.
You're
I'm gonna
usually
put this down.
on the other side of the room.
Yeah, I'm usually behind the cameras. We got Chris running the show today.
What's up,
How you doing,
Chris?
Chris? He's back
Hey,
there
guys.
waving.
Hey, bud.
Those you can't
What are you guys
see.
up to, man? Mans?
Trying to get this done. This
Yeah.
is what my days consisted of.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just, we were just talking about how I was,
You were how late?
well, I came 2 hours. Yeah.
Do we get like a cut of the residuals for these podcasts? Like,
What
when-
residuals?
when those
this is a free podcast. If you
Yeah,
haven't
we want
noticed.
some of that
wait.
podcast.
Oh,
money.
no, yeah.
John, I can't wait to start cutting residual checks. Like, if you think that's going to be hard, it's not. Just whenever that
Like
day
the second
is.
we have a pile of cash, we will
Yeah.
gladly
This-
hack it up with all y'all's. But
Yeah.
I don't know. This
Podcast.
Squarespace money? I think that's
Is that
floating around.
That was a year ago. We did a Squarespace.
Wait, so did all of the sponsorships?
Yeah, who's
No,
sponsoring
we're-
this?
they
Who's
actually
sponsoring this podcast?
Squarespace does have an ad coming up. So we
Do they?
We do have one coming up.
So we will have
Cut
some
us
of that
in.
sweet Squarespace
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah,
so
we don't have it.
Cut us off a piece. How about
I'm saving up for my place in Malibu. Okay, so
We have to get new mic stands. I don't know if you've noticed, but these are also janked. These were got at the bargain basement.
Oh, are these not
Yeah.
brand name? These aren't
Nah,
provided
these
by
are Roundy's brand mic stands.
the Aldi's,
Yeah.
Target, Up and
Like
Up brand
Aldi's
microphone
version
stands.
speaking of basement, I mean, if people are watching the video version, that's pretty much what it looks like we're doing this in right now.
I know.
It's like just short of a
Well,
snuff
we
film.
actually, actually, if you're checking out that camera, which I'm pointing at, that background doesn't look as bad.
As
we
you
put,
guys?
we put weird trinkets.
Oh, look at
of
that.
Our history. We got a bunch of, we got the pigs.
You guys built a little set.
Nice.
That's
Put a little-
I
cute.
like that.
We got a crime scene. Caution. Ooh, watch it. Don't cross the line. It's dangerous in this podcast. See, in this area, I didn't do too much. I just wanted to make sure everybody could see our Hell in a Cell that we're building. In case any of you are wondering, we're having a big Hell in a Cell pay-per-view here at the office. We're building our own Hell in a Cell
Wait, this
to watch, and we're gonna watch Hell in a Cell in
in
our
the cell?
In the cell.
This is happening?
Oh, I mean, why not?
When is Hell in a Cell?
It's 2 months in September. Either in September. Or
Aren't they
October.
filming that here in Los Angeles?
It's in Los Angeles.
What do you guys-
We should get some of them over to the office. To
we
have our own
know
mini Hell in
we
a
know a
Cell.
guy.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what the hell is a hell in a cell?
Dude, you don't
This
know
is
what a
wrestling
Hell in a
stuff?
Yeah.
Cell is?
That's what I thought it was.
How
Yeah.
do you not know what? Think about it. What do you think? Just like off the top of your head, what would you imagine a Hell in a Cell to be?
Some dumb thing a bunch of Jack Joes
Oh.
watch every year.
Bunch of Jack.
Well,
Joes,
Bunch
baby.
of big
Come on.
Jack Joes. Acting.
That's your
A Hell in a
opinion, man.
Cell, aka Satan's favorite structure, is a cage, an ultimate cage, built for a competitive challenge between two beasts.
Two beasts,
Two beasts of
meaning
human
you mean
athleticism.
two fake wrestlers.
Two performers
Yeah.
are paid to enter a set which is built to look like a giant solitary confinement.
It's like a 30-foot high cage, 40-foot
It's like
cage.
20 foot, I don't know if
20
it's 40,
foot.
It's like 20 foot.
20 foot?
40-foot cage would be intense. That would be the uncensored 96 triple cage.
Yeah.
But they don't make those anymore.
Oh, like in that movie Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, they
You know what
made
I'm
one.
talking
They
about?
made those. They actually Hulk Hogan and Macho Man actually did a real match like that. As ridiculous
That's
as it.
cool.
When
They
did,
did-
do you remember the first Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, I remember the first Hell in a Cell.
Okay, you don't need to
Doesn't-
take us down that road. Apparently, I believe you.
Michael's Taker.
Michael's Taker.
Yeah,
All right, so it was a recent event. Was it 20 years ago?
Yeah,
the
it
first
was
Hell in a
about 20
Cell.
years. But it looks like that cage. That cage is actually for safety purposes, but it looks a lot like a Hell in a Cell.
But now
all
they-
they want to do is dress up.
Yeah,
like
but
Mick
but
Foley
instead
and
of, I mean,
jump
that
into
sounds
some
fun to
boxing.
have it here. But you guys, we should all try to go downtown.
yeah.
John, you would enjoy it. We went to see WWE
I'd
last time
like
they
to
came
see a
through town
wrestling
about a
match
month
one
ago.
of these days.
We had seats down by the ring for the first time ever.
Yeah,
it was
great.
awesome. It was so
You'll
much
dig.
fun.
You'd have fun.
It's
You'd
fun.
You'd have fun.
We had a good time. We should do that.
John's in.
John's not having it.
Anyways,
I,
that's what's happening with my week.
Well, I mean, that's got like we got some new segments today. I told you guys beforehand.
Yeah, see right here,
quote
Paul.
unquote segments.
News segments.
We're gonna try a few things out. If they work, we'll keep them. If they don't, we'll scrap it and come up with something else. But but right now, just doing a little water cooler chat.
Experiment.
Hell in a Cell apparently is coming up. I wrote some weird shit down that John noticed, so we don't have to talk about. If you want to get
the best one.
let's
Just,
talk about
just
it all.
read it out loud. How
just
it's
want me
written
to
on
read
the
my
paper.
bullet
Was that
point
you or
here?
Me who wrote it.
I wrote it. It
Jared
says Subway Jared the Kitty Diddler.
Subway Jared the Kitty Diddler. The
Kitty Diddler.
That is exactly how it's written on today's rundown sheet.
Well, the idea being
Not
you
even
know,
a question mark, not an exclamation point.
Oh wait,
It's
did you
just-
see the New York Post
it's just,
headline?
No.
Okay. Oh my God. Wait.
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
So while
Hold
John
on.
pulls that stuff up-
Stand by. Wait. This
While
will I'll
John's
have this
pulling
in
that
1
up, I just want to
second.
give the rest of you guys a little context. Since you're on the podcast quite often, something we're trying out. Since we're just a couple of bros hanging out, we wanted to bring anyone, the few of you, or those out there who may even actually listen and watch this thing, bring you into like our water cooler conversation. We're hanging out at the office. We're on a lunch break or something like that, and we're chatting. This is the goofy shit that we talk about, So we just want to bring you in to
Goofy
one of our
pedophilia stuff that we
that
talk
show
about.
in particular,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say is goofy.
That's not goofy, but it's certainly one of the things that we're hanging
horrific.
out talking
Yeah.
about when we're
Yeah.
procrastinating, not getting any work done.
More like horrific.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible.
You don't have to talk. I mean, there's
No.
nothing to add. What
I
do you-
just
No,
love how
if you're
it's
the
written on
if
the
you're the
paper.
New
It's
York
hilarious.
if you're the New York Post,
Hilarious.
you can always find a way to make this fun.
Oh no.
Their headline: Enjoy a foot long in jail.
That's it.
Roasted.
That's just it. They
Yeah.
just did it. They just did the Twitter joke on their front page.
What was
Yeah.
the joke I heard this morning? Now Jared's Jared will still be getting his footlongs for free.
That's always the joke.
Yeah.
It's the same
Quite
joke. It's all
clever.
about a foot long.
Prison rape
Yeah.
is the punchline.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Prison rape
let's
is never a punchline.
Yeah, let's. I mean, like, screw Jared, but like to just be like triumphantly, like bragging about the fact that he's gonna get raped in prison is like
If that's the very
pretty
first,
poor taste.
If that's the very first like joke you came up with or thought of like really quickly, like odds are we all did too.
It's an easy joke.
It's a good one.
It's quite easy.
It's
Yeah.
just it's a
Considering
silver platter.
Subway
it's sitting right
sells
there. Yeah,
foot
it's
long
Subway.
and
They got
6-inch
6
sandwiches.
6 inches
There's
of hot
different
salami.
sizes.
Yeah, hot
All the
salami.
meats you can add.
I was just,
Yeah.
I was love to see like a side by side comparison of like the offices of like the New York Times and the New York Post. You know what I mean? Just because the New York Post has always had the most just lowbrow headlines. You know, they're just like
Gawker. I wonder what the Perez Hilton Post was. I'm sure he's got something goofy.
Oh jeez.
We don't have to. I don't want to talk about
I just
Subway
love how it's
Jared.
well, you just brought it
I
up.
just love how it's
I just wondered if
written.
you
It's
guys.
hilarious.
It's just one of those things where when we come in the office, we're like, man, did you
you
read
hear
the
about
news?
Jared?
Did you read the Twitter? Did you hear about Jared? Yeah, we got nothing to contribute there.
No.
I mean, I got stories.
You got stories
No,
I don't want to hear them stories.
Yeah.
His wife divorced him too. That's
already?
Yeah, she released a statement. She's
Holy
like,
hell, that happened fast.
Hey, stand behind your man.
Moving along.
on.
Did you guys hear about the Goonies house?
no.
Did you know that was a thing?
Yeah,
Have
it's
you
a
guys
real
even
house.
seen the Goonies?
Yeah, of course.
You have?
seen
No,
it.
there are
John
people in
hasn't
this
seen
office who haven't seen it.
Yeah,
No.
Will had. Yeah,
No
it's-
interest.
I just found out the girlfriend hasn't seen it, so I'm gonna take her to the street food cinema.
I mean, I'm curious to
They're playing
see
it.
how she responds to it because a lot of folks our age do not take well to that film.
Yeah, when they see it, if you see it like later.
We're
in
watching.
life,
It's not a
bad,
good
I
movie.
guess. I bet they
It's
don't
not a
like
really
it.
good
Yeah.
movie. It has some fun moments, but it doesn't hold up all that well. When we rewatch it, we're watching it through nostalgia glasses. You know,
best
a lot of people
glasses.
coming into it in their mid to
My
late
favorite
20s. It doesn't work. It
This
doesn't
movie
hold up.
kicks ass, dude. I
You
don't
think
care
so?
how
That's what I
old
think,
you are.
man.
Well, anyway,
I haven't seen it in
I
like
brought it up
5
because the
years.
actual
Did you
house
check it
that
out?
they filmed in a story, it's still there, but apparently, I read it. This is insane. Hundreds of thousands of people still go visit it every single day.
Yeah, they all truffle shuffle in the front yard.
Did they really?
Thousands of
Like, the
people
woman
go
lives
to
there.
that house a day. What do you? What,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like a
They
lot
go
of people.
visit the location, and apparently the woman who owns it she got fed up
Because like she'll be in her home,
What did
and
she-
then like she'll look out the window and
She
there'll be
tarped
some
it.
Jack Joe.
She tarped
She
it.
wrapped the house in blue tarp and put a sign out front that
Yeah, it
says,
like,
you
"Leave
know,
me
hey,
alone, I live here.
put yourself in my shoes. I'm sorry, but I bought a house.
So now
spent all
she's-
this money fixing it up, and then you guys come here and you trash the place, and you leave a mess.
What are they?
You
What are
destroy
they
the
doing?
yard.
Having a
They're,
party.
they're just
young
hanging out.
punk
Just-
kids.
yeah, they're having
Goonies.
a party.
You know?
So she put a tarp over her entire home.
Yeah,
and
she
she's like, "Well,
tarped
this
her
is."
home.
How long is that gonna last?
Not long.
I think she's up Shit's Creek without a paddle.
Yeah,
She
it's
should
not
just
gonna work.
sell it
I
off.
think so. Someone threw Sesame Street on here. I'll be honest, I don't care.
You don't care?
Sesame Street went to HBO. That you guys seem bothered by that.
Couldn't give a rat's ass.
That's what yeah.
Went to HBO.
I mean, I feel like there's something sad about it not being on
I
public
mean, I don't care.
broadcasting anymore. Maybe there's a story there about public broadcasting falling apart, which would be
Well, that's the only thing
upsetting.
is-
but
is-
I don't know anything about
That's
that.
the only thing that's like, well, I mean, like that's in essence why the FCC was created in the first place, was just to make sure that there was still forms of public educational broadcasting for free.
Yeah.
Like if there's going to be this medium of television, like as an entity, we have to make sure there's something for good being done. So like now that, I mean, like you couldn't even watch the presidential debate the other day without having paid cable.
Yeah.
And like now it's like some of these public things are going, since it's all the way of the internet like that, there has to be a new way for,
Free market, man.
you know, well, I know it's
You
free
know what?
market,
You
but-
got to have paid cable, but it had highest ratings in.
well, I
in
know
cable
it's free
history.
market, but I mean, then somebody has to create a new system for everyone to get free informational access. Then
I guess it's Sesame Street. I don't know. Maybe nobody's watching on PBS. Who the hell knows?
I'm not saying anybody's watching. I'm just saying it's a principle thing. Somebody's got to figure that
It's a
out.
principle.
Yeah.
You put them all in a Hell in a Cell and work it out.
Well, that's what I would like to do.
Um,
I don't know why making fun of Hell in a Cells.
trailer for The Witch.
Yeah.
He just showed me.
It looks pretty incredible. Frightening.
How good does that look?
Yeah, it's really tough for a trailer to.
So,
Make
what do you know
sense.
about this movie, Benji?
Nothing.
The Witch
I just saw the trailer like
played
2
at
minutes
Sundance this year. It was
ago. I don't know anything about it.
It was the hot commodity. The director won the directing award at Sundance. It's set in the 1700s, just before the Salem witch trials. Story about a family whose baby is taken. and then they leave the
Yeah,
town.
I saw the
or something
baby
to
get
that
took.
effect.
But this ain't about like Salem witch
Maybe
trials.
not
Is
took.
like, oh, these innocent people were. This is about a real
witch
witch
deal witch
that
and
kidnaps a baby and uses its blood to
not
cast
Wizard
spells.
of Oz, like pointy nose and a goofy hat, green skin witch, like a real
Yeah.
deal.
Is this the witch that Vin Diesel's going after?
In the last Witch Hunter,
Yeah.
no. Why would it? No, of course not.
Or maybe.
It's a prequel to that Vin
Maybe.
Diesel film.
Maybe
These two films are
Is
interconnected.
it a
ends
universe?
with-
Is this witch cinematic? This diesel-rich, witch-filled cinematic universe?
I don't know. It looks like a true blue horror film, man.
It
Something
looks
we
cool.
haven't- yeah.
I just saw
Our,
it.
our friend Chase has seen it, and
And?
he says it's amazing. And Black Phillip, the goat, in the trailer is like the best part of the whole movie.
Why is his name?
That goat's creepy.
Do you see the shot where it stands up on its hind legs?
Yeah.
It's like walk.
I, mean,
talk.
I think it's gonna probably talk at some point.
Yeah.
Is
it's
his
gonna
name
walk
Black
talk.
Phillip in the movie, or is it?
No, that's the name of the goat in the movie. He's like, Chase was just texting me. He's like, in all caps, Black Phillip. Oh my God, Black Phillip.
He's on the poster too.
Yeah.
It's all about that goat.
I'm just so excited.
Year of the Goat. Mm-hmm. This is when goats finally get their
Have they
due
been waiting?
in film.
They've been waiting for it.
Come up and
Yeah. You know, that dog in the artist had his ear.
You know he's dead.
Now he's dead.
Yeah.
Now it's time for...
Wait, already?
Yeah.
Augie the
Augie's
dead.
dead.
Dog is dead.
Dude, that's
That's sad.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna go watch that again because that looked like a lot of fun. The other
The artist?
No, not the artist. The witch. trailer.
artist didn't look like fun.
Artist was-
I mean,
I mean, the artist wasn't bad, but I would watch it again.
I mean, I might watch it again. I'm not gonna go out
How
of
did
my
that
way.
win Best Picture?
Because of that dog, man.
What was it against? What was that? It was one of those weak years.
Must have been a terrible
weak
year.
year, right? Yeah. I don't know, not weak.
It
You
wasn't a
can't say
bad
that.
film
There's
at
never a
all,
weak
but it
year.
was like,
There's always
that
tons of good
movie? Hollywood just like loves to pat
It's
itself
no
on
Crash, but, you know.
The last thing I had under this past week's water cooler convo is the D23 Expo revealed a bunch of new Star Wars info. Did you guys see the new Drew Struzan poster?
No.
Yeah, I saw it.
Struzan's the artist who did all the artwork on the original Star Wars posters. Indiana Jones. He does Indiana Jones one sheets.
okay.
A lot of
I know
that
what you're talking
early
about.
Spielberg,
Yeah,
Lucas
yeah.
era, like hand painted artwork. He did the first couple Harry Potter films. You know.
Okay.
It's
It
got
looked
that
like
very
someone
unique style.
looked like someone it was photoshopped their own Drew Struzan's.
I know what you're
poster.
saying. Yeah,
It
There's
looked
there's
like
something
easy-
that the composition feels off.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
Yeah. So I read online someone said that like there was probably like twice as much stuff in there, and J.J. Abrams and his mystery box nonsense was probably like, take that out. We don't want to spoil
We
that.
don't want to spoil it.
Spoil
Why does JJ talk like a goober?
Yeah.
What is
I don't want to spoil it.
Because look at it. Have you seen
What's
pictures?
J.J. Abrams' mystery box?
You haven't heard his whole career is based
Yeah.
around mystery boxes, and that's what they call it. It's like, like The Lost. That was like his big breakthrough, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, like for the next like 3 years, anything with like a mystery at the center of it was like had his name slapped on
You could
it.
do a whole. There are a lot of essays written on his mystery box theory.
Or like the whole time, like
Filmmaking methods,
they were like refused to say who, like what's his name was Benedict Cumberbatch was in the new Star Trek movie, and like everyone's like it's Khan, right? And he's like I'm not saying, and then it's like it's Khan. It's like,
I'm not gonna kill you. I mean, he's a petulant 12-year-old.
yeah,
I did see that Struzan, the poster artist, said he watched the new Star Wars film to get inspiration for the poster, and he said flat out it is the best Star Wars movie of all 7 Star Wars movies.
how old is he though?
Of all 7?
How-
Much
how-
better
how-
than
Shit.
judging by his latest
Shit.
artwork. Maybe the guy's losing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What the hell does he know?
He's like a gun to the back of his head. It's the best Star Wars.
best. JJ's got a gun to his head.
JJ's
Tell him
like,
it's the best.
You go in the box.
Going into backs. Yeah.
the boo box.
The
The other big news is they're doing Star Wars Land with Disney.
It's about time.
Did you guys get excited about that? Was anyone
that'll be
surprised
cool.
by that?
I'm not.
I'm
not
sure
surprised.
It's
You
no
don't care.
surprise. Yeah.
They got to do something.
Not
'cause
surprised.
Star
I'll
Wars
go.
is
Don't
weak,
care.
man.
Yeah, if we're going for
You guys are so jaded.
I'm not-
I mean, whatever.
I don't like.
If they
I don't like crowds of people. I don't like being like.
So you're not even a Disneyland guy to begin with.
No, I hate
I
it.
guess they do.
Did you?
it,
Have you
though.
seen Cars Land?
Cars?
I don't. I didn't even like the film, so I'm not gonna go to the.
anyone
All right.
who doesn't have a child at
Well, I don't
Cars
like the
Land is
second
highly suspect, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, Cars Land's cool.
You went?
I mean, I've been, yeah. Not by myself, but it's cool.
Anyone walking through Cars Land who doesn't have a child. So then you
What,
mean
do
anyone?
just like stuff?
Anyone by themselves at Cars Land is suspect.
Dude, I mean, I'd
Well,
go,
that-
I'd
I
go
mean,
there just to
you
get
didn't
one
go
of
by
them orange
yourself.
That goes the same for anyone at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like 34-year-old single Caucasian male
Well, I
walking
don't know why it
through
has to be
Disneyland by
Caucasian.
himself.
Yeah, Fogels.
Yeah, I don't know why I gotta call out the Caucasian.
There's-
dick.
Because that's the FBI profile for
Yeah.
serial rapist,
Yeah, he's
child molester.
pretty true.
Yeah.
But usually, I mean, a lot of adults hang out at Disneyland.
Yeah, and if I were a child molester, I'd definitely have that. I'd go every day. And just fucking
Disneyland
hang.
is probably a decent place to hang
They
if
gotta,
you're a
they
child
gotta do it
molester.
like Epcot, though.
What if this was like a child molester was hearing this and inspired? Just like,
Yeah.
Of course.
oh no!
Dude,
I don't know.
I have a feeling they've already thought of it. They're disgusting. That's what they do. Anyways, it was...
The guys at the Facerocker Podcast told me to do it.
There
we're
goes
in-
that Squarespace ad.
The thoughts,
Squid.
the thoughts and views of
Don't
the,
worry,
the
we got
films boys are not shared by those
You
we
guys-
got-
producers.
Let's make him squeal on
Barry's
camera today.
cherries will bail us out.
You say it right. Stop it.
Barry's cherries.
Bird Jr. over here. Bill Bird Jr. over here with the ad.
Can we
reads.
start a competing company called Barry's Cherries?
Barry's cherries.
No,
Barry's
we're not
cherries?
starting a competing company for one of our advertisers. It's the worst idea we've ever
You
had.
change your name to Barry and make cherries. You're gonna grow cherries and release. It's just sponsor the podcast.
Yeah.
You're not even gonna sell the
We're gonna
cherries.
sell berries. There's just some guy named Barry.
Barry's cherries.
Oh god.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll do
I was
it.
gonna-
Why not?
I don't know. Again, the Star Wars thing, I got excited for about 30 seconds until I pulled up the article and read
Yeah.
that. Like, you're going to be able to taste the blue milk that Luke drank at the cantina on Tatooine. And my thought,
Okay.
that's it. That's the best
Who wants
you
to
guys
drink
come up with.
blue milk on a hot day?
Milk was a bad choice.
It's a bird choice.
Oh, it's blue?
Blue and there's booze
Oh,
in it?
great.
Sounds good.
Oh, there's booze in it. I
There
get
might
that.
be booze in it. Well, that's the big. Because do you know that they do not serve alcoholic beverages at Disneyland?
Oh, so
No,
you'll
what
be
they
able
do
to
at
the
Epcot.
cantina. That's the whole
They do
reason
it
people
at
wanna
Disney
go.
World at Epcot Center.
Yeah.
They do. At Disneyland, it was like Walt's original dream. We're going to create a park where we don't serve any booze.
And
I
no
think-
Jews.
I was about to say the same thing.
And
No
what?
Jews or booze.
Yeah. It's gonna be a utopia with no.
The perfect place.
In case you weren't,
Disneyland
you
is a
didn't
weird
know,
place, man. You
podcast
start-
listeners,
Google it.
Walt
second you-
Disney was a notorious
just Google it.
anti-Semite.
If you're-
An entire company is founded on anti-Semite money.
You can Wikipedia
Yeah.
that shit because it's fact.
Yeah.
You Google it.
It's fact.
Yeah.
You can take a ride through what's it,
I mean,
Splash
that's the
Mountain and see how racist they were.
Yeah. I mean, that's the,
Yeah, is there any Jews in it's a small world after all? That's a good.
never been in there.
I
They
think
have- they have
I think all the
everything
little
covered.
kitties on It's a Small World are shades of white. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, they have, races.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Except you.
Well, Jews. I mean, as a Jew's kind of like it's pretty tough to caricature like a Jewish person. Like
Tastefully.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say so.
So do you
Yeah.
think, do you
I
think
think it's hard to do that to anyone. Like that's what.
No,
in essence,
well,
a
it's like
character
at least
is,
in a
though.
small world they have
It
like
takes the stereotype.
being a publicly traded
Yeah.
company, do you think that there was did they have to vote on that in a board meeting? Like, so everyone's okay with Jews now, right? We can throw away the old battle plans that Walt drafted here.
No, he's-
We gotta ask for Roy.
his brain's in a jar and he's still telling them what to do.
like Futurama.
They froze his head, right?
Futurama?
Future,
He
like
said
that Futurama
like
show.
Such an Indiana fuck.
Yeah.
Futurama.
Why do I have to be a fuck?
All right, I
Yeah,
take
and
the
Benji
fuck
Dolly,
part back.
the
I came
Indiana
at you
fuck.
hard
What,
and sideways.
Indiana represent. Love that.
Indiana's
place.
great. I came at you hard.
That
I take
show,
it back.
Futurama.
Yeah, show Futurama.
What's it called?
I got that brain tube on Futurama.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see
The
it.
Bears.
I see you beast. Sausage.
Anyway, there are
Bears.
entire documentaries that could be made on Walt's anti-Semitism.
Did they touch on that in that Tom
In the
Hanks
Star Wars
one?
The
announcement?
Tom Hanks
Star Wars
movie.
So we wanted to create a Star Wars land,
Yeah.
a universe where all races are finally accepted and we serve booze. For the first time ever here at Disneyland,
I just
California.
imagine like the way they're gonna do it, if they should do it, would be like an Epcot type thing, where it's all the different like lands you can walk into, but then in the middle of the park there's the giant golf ball, but instead it's the Death Star, right? you can go inside the
that
Death
you can
Star.
you can look up the
Like, that
concept
would be
art.
the
It
thing.
doesn't
That'd
look
be
anything
great.
like that. It looks like it's a single planet. It's supposed to be a hub on the outer rim of the universe, your last stop before going out into deep space. It's a planet never before
Gotcha.
seen in the Star Wars universe. It may tie into. I actually
One
don't
of
even
those-
think
probably
it ties
probably-
into the
it's
new
probably in,
trilogy.
like,
I think it's its
phase
own.
4 of the Disney.
Maybe
Star Wars
it's supposed to be its own
movies.
original creation, and they're going to have no humans. It's supposed to be populated with all aliens. And
Just Jar Jars.
all Jar Jars. Did you see also at D23? I didn't write this down, but George was defending Jar Jar at D23 all these
I
years
hope
later.
Jar Jar has a big presence at that.
He was talking about how much he loves him, and he was like, "Look, I based him off of Goofy, and you guys love Disney, right? So there
bet
it
you-
is."
I melded Goofy with a racist caricature, and I came up.
I came up with
Yeah,
Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar.
yeah,
John, you're working today for the cause.
Yeah,
Dude,
No, I
I
love
mean,
it.
Standing up.
dude. I mean, we all agree that that's a kind of a racist
Yeah,
character, right?
I mean, a
there's
bit.
weird. That's what them and the that sort of pseudo Asian, like the Trade Federation. Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
like,
those
dude,
guys are
like
pretty
They went up the ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
it's like that's just how you know. That's how you
Like half the movie, they're just going,
Oh, Jedi!
when you reach a certain level of success in Hollywood, no one people are just so afraid to like tell you that this might be a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, George, you think this might be an importation? No, I came up with this on
Well,
my
you've seen
own.
the Red Letter Media
Yeah.
little mini docs
Good.
on the original trilogy, right? He's got this footage. It's probably from behind the scenes on Phantom Menace. You see the first time that they're screening Phantom Menace. All the George is there, the McCallum, all the producers, and they got their heads in their hands, and they're completely dumbfounded seeing it for the first time. And yet no one wants to say anything to George. They're all yes men at that point, you know.
There's footage. There's public footage of people.
Yeah, at the first screening, you should see. It's incredible. Yeah.
I really
Anyway,
want to see that.
I also should apologize to you guys because I got a really bad cold and I'm like coughing
Just
and,
got over it last week.
and
man. I was battling
sneezing
all week.
all over the place, especially anyone who may or may not be listening.
Scoot
to this.
over then. You know.
Yeah, I'm
here
like
in the
sniffling
danger
into the
zone.
mic
I'm
here.
inoculated.
Do you have strep?
It's just a really bad cold.
Better not add that strep.
So I just gave it. My girlfriend has it too this morning. She woke up and
probably
she's
has-
sniffling.
Oh no.
I got a call from. I left a water bottle in Will's car last night. I took one sip out of it, left it in the car.
sick.
He calls me on the way home. He goes, "Did you leave a water bottle in my car?" I go, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Gee, God damn it! I just took a drink out of it,
Oh, well.
and now I'm infected." So
Contagion.
he's sick too. Before we move along here, and I'm only going to bring this up because I thought it was a pretty clever segue, as you'll see in a moment. Straight Out of Compton. We all saw Straight Out of Compton last week.
We did.
Yeah.
Fun movie.
Yeah.
Big fans of the era.
Love it.
Gangster rap.
Love it.
Or reality raps, as they call it in the movie.
Can't
you
get
guys
enough.
liked it, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
dope.
Yeah.
fun.
I was bumping my head throughout the whole
I
thing.
know. I
you
really want to go see it again. Actually,
I'm a big fan. I personally kind of prefer the old school hip hop to. I mean, like there's good new stuff, but you know, the old school.
yeah, I'm a fan of the old school myself.
I connect more with that stuff. You know.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good movie. There are some interesting articles that came out. Like, did you read the Straight Out of Misogyny, talking about how the movie edited out those guys being actual thugs and gangsters and misogynistic womanizers and stuff.
Well,
like
what
that.
happened with that woman is really fascinating.
Which woman?
The one that Dre like assaulted.
Journalist.
Yeah.
Did you know that the interview that made Dre beat her up was filmed by F. Gary Gray?
What?
Yes, he was a cameraman on that, and she said that like in some like kind of like public statement that on the day they filmed that interview, F. Gary Gray took Ice Cube aside, and when he came back, he was all heated up and angry, and that's why he was like at the center of the what is arguably the most, you know, shameful chapter in NWA's history.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Sort of pseudo conspiracy going on behind the scenes there.
It was definitely. Well, I mean, it's produced by Dre and Cube, so.
Yeah, and also MC Ren just kind of is like, I liked the movie, but
Drake,
like it made me look.
Yeezy's widow, right?
Yeah.
And
So everyone-
she's the one who just looks at the documents for 2 seconds and is like,
Was the reason one
Yeah.
of the reasons why the movie wasn't getting made for so long was they needed the rights to all the NWA music, which were held by Eazy's widow, and they needed Dre's blessing, and Dre wasn't satisfied with any of the scripts because they were too real. And he said something to the effect of, "I don't want anyone tarnishing and pouring water on my hot career," And it wasn't. Sounds like once they finally took over the project and got a script that portrayed them in a little more positive light, and eliminated all the negativity. Then it got made. But I mean, it was still a fun movie.
It was a really fun movie, but like the final.
If you guys want the real story, watch that. Have you seen the documentary "Welcome to Death Row"? Were we just talking about that?
No.
Who was talking about that? It's on Stars, and you can I think you can rent it on Amazon for like $3 or $4.
Dude, yeah.
Welcome to Death Row was written and filmed by the guy who wrote the story, the treatment for Straight Outta Compton. So he had really done his research over the years and was fascinated with the tale. But they got tons of footage, like actual footage of these guys back in their early days in the studio with assault weapons and what have you. It's really interesting. I brought that up not only because it was a fun movie, interesting era, but because it was number one at the box office. In 3 days, Straight Outta Compton did $56 million, which was more than Fantastic Four did in its entire first week. $120 million studio tentpole superhero film.
Good riddance.
Brought that up because that movie's a big disaster, and I wanted to talk about box office disappointments today.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys go see Fantastic Four? I get the feeling, judging by how little money it made, nobody saw that movie.
we should go.
Which kind of makes me intrigued to actually go see it.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, but the more I read about it, it's not even so bad that it's interesting. It's just plain boring. I think I wrote down some quotes actually that I pulled off of Rotten Tomatoes because it's only got 8%
there's
on
some
Rotten
bad
Tomatoes.
ones.
Here, like right out the gate, the first one I read was Fantastic Four is a terrible film, $100 million pinata, deserving of its critical and commercial mauling. In this day and age, things like this shouldn't be allowed to happen. It's just getting a shellacking.
Oh my gosh.
Just
It's like
getting
so
a shellacking.
indignant. This shouldn't be allowed to happen. Who let this happen?
The entire experience is shameful.
Insulting.
Yeah. My milk duds have soured watching this film.
No, dude,
It's that bad press that you're right though, Jake. I agree with you. It's the bad press that makes me want to go see it. Otherwise, I'm not a Fantastic Four comic fan.
Yeah, I don't
No real interest in going to see that movie. I'm not a fan of like
Yeah.
that dark, gritty superhero tone anymore. But hearing how bad it is, it's got 8%. I want to go
Did
check
you
it
hear
out.
that the director and Miles Teller were literally chest to chest, telling one another to punch? They wanted to get in a fist fight.
Shouting
Straight
matches?
come at me, bros.
Yeah,
Really?
come at me, bro.
Come at me, bros.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of stories.
I
Trank
wish
had
someone
that.
was recording.
There's a lot of stories going on. about
Trank's
how
a
that guy
hothead,
was upset.
apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, Trank. He had that tweet. The tweet that ruined his career.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Supposedly
movie
lost
probably-
film
the-
$10 million. They estimate
The tweet did
that tweet lost $10 million.
just in bad press.
He released it the day before it came, like the Thursday it was coming out. You know what I mean? He even let it fail before it
Yeah,
failed.
he came out before. Yeah.
I don't know how you recover from that. You gotta pull. You know what you do? You pull an M. Night Shyamalan. You disappear for 10 years, and then you come
Lady in the
back
Water.
and you make no. Did you see? He's got no. That ruined. That killed it.
Yeah, I was
He's
like,
got.
where you
he's-
going?
There's
with
a
this?
trailer for his found footage film. Looks like he did like
The
$250,000,
Visit?
$500,000 found footage horror movie. It looks awful. It looks fucking awful. But it looks like he spent no money. The guy had to disappear, change his name.
He does shit all the time. Still.
All right, no, I don't think so.
He does it.
Yeah,
the
Wayward
show,
Pines.
The Wayward Pines with
That's Shyamalan.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Well, shows how much.
No,
Shyamalan.
not Matt Dillon.
Dylan.
Damon.
Matt Dillon.
Is this show any good?
And
It's not supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
What are you
I
telling me?
don't know.
I got to take back everything I just said about Shyamalan.
No,
I'm
the
saying
guy
Shyamalan's,
stinks.
like,
The guy stinks.
He never he's always been working.
Yeah.
You know, he's never really had that. That people.
He's
have
just at
shat
that.
on
He's
him,
just at
but
that
he's
level.
Still been working.
Where
Right.
he's at that George Lucas level where he can just make terrible crap and no one's gonna
Okay.
stop him.
All right. This is good though. Shyamalan is exactly what I wanted to bring up today. Not Shyamalan specifically, but he's a perfect example of box office disappointments. And I'm not just talking about financial flops, but expectations, right?
Oh well, I mean, Jake and I have a sort of a story. I just so vividly remembered
Going to see The Village.
The Village.
Yeah.
Right?
I've never been more
Coming off of
excited about a
Signs,
film.
could not wait to see what
That
that guy
the
did
the
next.
the premise of that movie alone is incredible. The trailers were great.
Trailers
Filmed
were
by
good.
Roger Deakins, so this is this epic cinematography. Jake and I were like going frame by frame through those trailers, trying to like just figure out what the monsters look like.
And that cast is incredible.
Stellar cast.
Yeah.
Incredible.
We get to the
The ad
theater.
campaign was really great too.
Yeah.
I was so intrigued to see what was
Yeah.
in those woods.
You get to the theater, and I'll just never forget
Gotta see
when
what's
they
in those
reveal
woods.
that that there's no monster. Yeah,
It's Adrian.
It's
It's mentally retarded Adrian Brody.
exactly.
That's what it was.
challenged Desmond.
Is the preferred nomenclature.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I prefer retarded though too. It's more fun. It's more fun to say.
Thank you.
He was a dingbat.
Okay, all right, Jake.
A mental dingbat?
Oh my God.
That's
all right.
That's the correct.
I can just
I
see.
don't think that's
I can
right.
see
Yeah.
Benji's
Mark-
eyes.
Benji's
Like,
over here. I
delete
gotta edit
this.
this.
Timestamp.
Timestamp, yeah.
That moment, Chris.
Yeah,
Be editing
for
that out.
deleted. Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks. It's
Make
going
him-
up tomorrow. Thanks for
yeah.
giving us the extra time, guys.
yeah. I'll.
You can say dingbat. You don't have to edit dingbat.
Dingbat.
Since when is dingbat
Yeah.
not?
Do you want like a moment
Politically
of silence
correct.
so you can have like an edit point?
Nah, dude, it's all good.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
we get it. We're all trying to be people. We don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
You know.
Sorry if
I don't think
Yeah.
dingbat. If
Dingbats
dingbat
out
does it,
there.
we apologize. But I don't think it does. I don't think dingbat is one of those hot button words.
What if it is? What if we just do?
I will
like,
be the
we put
first to
video up.
apologize,
We
dude.
put the video up.
people get offended so easily now. You're gonna get.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. There's
story like it just spreads.
a dingbat, anti-dingbat coalition that's going to
My
shut down,
aunt was a
shut down the
dingbat, and I'm
Facerocker
really
podcast.
offended.
Moms against
Yeah. No,
Moms against dingbats? That's not what we're talking about.
No, I once, if we can keep going on this
We can
subject.
keep talking about dingbats for a second.
No, I mean, I'll stop myself if this is truly gonna get cut out.
Well, you know what, John? I'm curious to see where you take this. If it
No, I
crosses
just,
the line, we'll shut it down and edit
I was giving, it was like I had to tell a story in a college class. No, it wasn't about the village. I'll come back to that in a second. I had to tell a story for like a college class, and I said like the word like retarded, and a girl like after I was done and like supposed to give like feedback, like a girl raised her hand and she said she was part of an organization called spread the word to end the word, you know. And she was like literally a head of an organization to not say that word, and I just got called
You
out.
just happened to.
And I just got called out in front of everybody, and I was just like, I don't know. I was just
well,
like, yeah.
You had to do this in front of everyone, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. But anyways,
hilarious.
The Village. I'll never forget the sound of the audience when it was revealed that there was no monsters in the movie. I could just hear everyone starting to turn to each other, and then you could hear whispers. Like people stopped paying attention. They're like, "Is this really happening? Like, should we leave? Like, are they serious?"
Yeah.
And then they try to fake you out again by making you think there are monsters again, and then it turns out just to be Adrian Brody.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll just never forget. Like Jake and I were just livid walking. Like we've never been more.
I didn't have a great deal of expectations going into that movie, and I ended up just like catching it on home video, so it wasn't as horrible an experience it was for me as it was for you guys. Mine was The Happening. I was so freaking amped for The Happening. I thought the trailer was so intriguing. I couldn't wait to see whatever. When you think about it, the trailer's awful. It's everyone slowly turning and looking
they're all
at somewhere, and I'm like, what are
Walking
they?
into
What are
something.
they all looking at? What is this happening? I took my whole family to go see it.
we all went.
My grandparents were there.
Ew.
We were all there to go see The Happening. I was
Yeah,
like, this
Nana
movie's gonna be
Papa went.
so terrifying.
That movie. Remember the
10
part?
minutes into it. 10 minutes into it, my grandpa's leaning over the road, like 15 people long. He's like, "Do you like this? Do you like this? Is this do you think this is funny?" It was so embarrassing.
It was
horrible.
Seeing
Horrible
that
movie.
up in Cape Cod with me and my buddy and 3 black dudes sitting in the front, and 20 minutes. It was right at the part where the woman comes over with the iPhone.
Yeah.
And it shows like that lion tamer like getting both of his arms ripped off
Yeah.
by lions.
Yeah.
And this black dude stands up and looks back. Me and my buddy goes, "Man, this movie fucking sucks." Just like that. And we're laughing our asses off, and then he looks at us and he goes like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
just like that joke killed." And then he just sat back down. We watched the entire movie.
I like that he didn't leave. He's like, maybe if I sit through the rest of this, I'll come up with another humdinger.
Yeah. Oh,
and
he
I'll
kept
zing
throwing
the
them out
audience.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they hit. Most of them hit.
I can't remember. I'm trying to
That
think of
made
what
the
other
movie.
movies that, Benji, you and I had an experience. Do you remember how amped we were for Matrix Revolutions?
Dude, I was so excited. I tried to believe it was good. I lied to
Benji, it was
myself
like
for like
the
a
coming
good,
of Christ.
I lied
He
to
was
myself
so
for,
amped.
for a good
Yeah?
2 weeks after that movie. I was like, "No, man, it's great. That
Was
movie's
it the second or the third?
The third one.
I was literally counting down the days, at least for Reloaded. I was counting down.
I remember
the
like
days.
when the Green
Reloaded,
Warner
I was
Bros finally hit for the third one. I just remember because it was in the trailer. I just
Yeah.
remember I was sitting there and I looked at Dez. I go, "It ends tonight."
Yeah.
And I was
Well,
like,
part of
"Oh,
it was
yes."
we were hoping to like undo some of the misfortune of Reloaded, which didn't live up to the original's expectations, and we're thinking, you know what? But it's kind of like Empire. It's like a weird movie stuck in the middle. They're
Yeah.
gonna fix it all in Revolution. It's gonna be fucking amazing. They're gonna bring it home. And God, that movie sucked so hard.
That
You refused to accept
I
it.
refused. It took me a while. I was in denial for a while.
Well, how long? Well, what about? I mean, when did you guys see the prequel trilogy, the Star Wars prequel trilogy? Did you see that in
came out,
theaters?
but I was
Yeah,
like
right when it
I was
came
pretty
out.
young.
Were you young enough
Yeah, I
to?
was young enough for like, oh, pod racer is cool.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah.
And Darth Maul, I thought Darth
No,
Maul was
but-
awesome.
But I remember by episode 2, we were like old enough to like start ripping on movies. Like that one line where he's like, "I slaughtered them like animals."
Like animals.
Like it was like with the Anakin's, it was bad. Like it was amazing how bad both the Jake Lloyd and Hayden Christensen, like they just could not. They just completely screwed up that character on all three
It
films.
fucked up both of their careers, really. You know. After
Yeah.
that,
Do you guys have a story
Huh?
about the don't you know the guy who plays young Anakin?
Jake Lloyd.
Jake
I
Lloyd?
wish.
Someone has a Jake Lloyd story.
Yeah, I have a Jake
I've
Lloyd
heard-
shroom story, but it's like through a buddy's buddy. You know what I mean?
Through a buddy's buddy. So this is allegedly Jake Lloyd.
Allegedly, Jake, like, they're all gonna take shrooms, and before they're gonna do it, he's like, "Hey, my buddy Jake's coming over. It's Jake Lloyd from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Please don't mention the fact that he was in Star Wars. He doesn't like talking about it."
Right.
And his buddy's like, "Okay, fine, I won't bring it up." So,
It's like the first thing he
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
says.
so then it's like him in a room with Jake Lloyd, and they're both like the shrooms just hit, and Jake Lloyd just turns over, looks at me, and goes, "You know, I was in Star Wars, right?"
That's a big.
Supposedly that happened,
That's great.
and I hope that
Did he lead them on a hot pursuit?
recently, yeah, he went
Recently,
for
he
a
led
little
police
joyride.
on a hot pursuit.
Jake Lloyd did?
Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy.
He's got like a Fu Manchu type.
He
stash,
looks-
too, in
he
his
looks
mugshot.
the
Yeah, he
part
looks
now.
gnarly, dude.
He looks the part now.
Oh no!
Yeah.
He looks
Why does this
gnarly.
always happen to child
Yeah.
actors?
Well, it's because they get used.
Yeah. I'm trying to
During the part of their life when they're supposed to be taught how to be a good human, they're just being used by a bunch of bad humans.
I mean, also that guy
Nothing to
has the
learn
unfair,
off of.
Like they cast this like pretty mediocre child actor to fill the shoes of Darth Vader, one of the most beloved
Yeah.
yeah.
like
He was
movie
great in
characters of all
Jingle All the
time.
way.
Dude,
I
right?
will say that.
Turbo
That's a great
Time.
film.
Man, I'm trying to think of other movies that really disappointed me.
Me
and
personally,
I
I
was so
was-
hyped.
I was-
but
I was
Star
really-
Wars takes the cake, you know.
Terminator Salvation did me in.
Terminator Salvation comes to
was-
mind. I was so amped for that.
yeah.
And Watchmen also, which was roughly around the same time.
Oof.
Yeah.
I was so
Watchmen
amped
had
for
a great.
Watchmen. I thought it was
Watchmen
gonna be
had
the greatest movie ever.
that Smashing Pumpkins
yeah.
song in the trailer.
Dude.
The end is the beginning is the end.
Well, that's
that
one of the
trailer
best
was
trailers.
I
fantastic.
made the unfortunate choice of taking a girl on a date
Oh,
to
God.
see Watchmen.
No.
And I was like so
I bet
upset.
she
I was
was
like, I read
heartbroken.
the book. It's incredible. This is gonna be amazing.
You're gonna love this.
You're
She
gonna
was
love it.
like-
And she was just like literally I could just feel it halfway through the movie. I was just like, oh God, what have I
Yeah,
done? And
it's
she's
bad.
like kind of like
Oh.
glancing at me like, dude, you're done.
Yeah.
This is over.
I was so jacked for Terminator.
done.
I was like,
This
they're
is
gonna do it. I was like, they're gonna fix the mess that was number 3. I still hadn't understood that like you just couldn't do anything yet.
Yeah.
I was still under the impression like there was some way you could save what happened with 3. I didn't fully understand the idea that you just 2 is it.
What are you talking about?
Salvation, Terminator
Oh,
Salvation, and that trailer was so badass.
That was a cool trailer. Yeah.
It was a great trailer. And
Rise
I
of the
showed up
Machines,
in,
right?
in that movie.
No, that was 3.
That was 3. Salvation was
Salvation
the
was
it was-
with
yeah.
Christian Bale, McGee.
Yeah.
McG one, and it was just butt. It was
Yeah.
butt.
I wrote down Adventures of Pluto Nash
Dude, I love Pluto
because
Nash.
I knew Benji was gonna say he loved it. I just wanted to
can't
troll
believe-
Benji.
I'm going to talk about that. Why is Pluto
adjusted
Nash
for
here?
inflation? It's one of the most expensive box office.
I mean, it's one of the worst of all time. But I have a blast watching Pluto
sci-fi
Nash.
budget with like the hottest movie star of all time, and Eddie Murphy in the movie Tank. It was garbage.
Maybe that's just
Benji
me.
loves it. I
Maybe
just
that's
wanna
just
troll
me
him.
because I can put the kid goggles on, and
What do
have
you
a
like
ball.
about it, Benji?
It's a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Eddie's all over the place. He's
All over
Eddie
the
really
place is
brings
usually
it.
not a
he's,
good
he's,
thing.
he's all over the
he's all over the
galaxy,
place.
man. He's all over the galaxy. He's everywhere. It's great. It's great.
All right.
Going back to Matrix really quick.
Yeah.
Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice the hidden crucifix in the movie?
No, where? I
When
may or may not have. Remind me.
when Neo dies at the end of Matrix 3,
A crucifix of light
Comes out of him.
comes out of his chest, Yeah.
and he's split, and then like when the machines like drag him away or at the end, like he's like in the Christ
In a
pose.
Christ pose.
And there's like all
Yeah.
sorts of, like
Yeah.
there's all, if you think about it, there's all sorts of weird like laced in
Well, yeah.
messages in there, like Trinity. Think about that, or Zion. These are
And
all.
now all of that
Yeah.
was handled with a far more deft and interesting touch in the first film, and then by the third,
Yeah.
it was all heavy-handed symbolism.
Yeah.
Right in your face.
Meets Dragon
It's
Ball
no
Z.
longer
Yeah.
subtext.
It was
interesting metaphorical interpretation. It's just no, he's Christ on it with a cross exploding out of his chest.
Oh, you don't get it? Okay, here's a literal crucifix.
Yeah.
This is like that was just so that pretty much is responsible for any like sadness I currently have inside me right now. Is
you're
the
right, yeah.
disappointment of the Matrix sequels.
The Matrix
The fir-
sequels and the Star Wars sequels
Yeah.
and the Terminator sequels are the bane of my existence.
And the village.
And the Village.
And the Village.
Shyamalan's The Village, Shyamalan's Lady in the Water, Shyamalan's
The Happening.
The Happening. A lot of everything Shyamalan post
Just the name Shyamalan.
post
is like,
Sixth Sense. Most people hate Signs.
Dude, Signs is a ball.
Signs is a fun
Signs
time.
is a
was
ball.
good.
I'll stick
The
with
first
Signs.
time,
It's
the
not
first
like
time you
Signs.
watch Signs, the first time you see that movie, and I don't want to spoil anything, but that first jump you get in Signs is great. That's one of the best
With
jumps
the-
in the
underneath
movie.
the door?
The kid's birthday party.
Oh yeah,
The kid's birthday party.
video-
That first,
video
that, I
footage,
think
yeah.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
a great
No, that
moment.
was
I think that's
it's
fantastic.
got Joaquin
yeah.
Phoenix in it. Like it's a solid movie.
Yeah, it's
his
nice.
his
Michael
movie,
Showalter's in that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
He's the dude who's like it's the scene where they get across that Joaquin Phoenix was really good at baseball.
Yeah.
And then you hear like this voice like, you also had the record for like most strikeouts, and it's like Michael Showalter just like ripping on Joaquin
weird.
Phoenix.
Yeah. He's the guy at the bar.
We could spend the entire
Yeah.
podcast bashing all these filmmakers and their bad movies.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't-
what have we done with our
I
lives?
didn't. Well,
Exactly.
that's what I was gonna say. I didn't think it would be fair
would've
unless
done
we
it like
talked
this.
about our most epic creative disasters, which personally I feel like are every film I've ever made. So I was wondering if you guys have any really interesting stories about a project, and I feel like I might know where you end up going with this, but something that you thought was going to be like it for you. Your greatest creative achievement that didn't turn out to be exactly that.
God, there's a
All
lot.
of film school.
Basically,
Fi-
right?
film
Dude,
school.
remember that vampire movie you tried
Oh
to make?
God.
Oh, do
Oh
tell.
my God.
I
Yes.
can't even remember. I blocked,
Please.
You'll have to do it for me because
I just
I
remember,
blocked
like,
most of that out.
You had this. I just remember at one point we were shooting at like my uncle's
Yeah.
apartment,
Yeah.
and like we needed to get all these shots, and there was this guy in our group who was like, or it wasn't even like I just like got the location, but
Yeah. I like
there's this
just
guy
dragged
in
you
the
into
group
this
who just
horrible
who just
situation.
was butting heads with John.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember he spent like 20 minutes setting up this shot, and John just comes over and picks up the tripod and moves it. And if you could have seen this dude's face, like, it was like he was so. It was great.
Holy hell.
It didn't really turn out.
Yeah, it was like a group project, but I just like took control of the whole thing and kind of just drove us off a cliff essentially.
I tried to make this really serious / formalistic horror short when I was at USC. It was my fifth film in this class. You make 5 movies called 290. You watch them. You make them. You got 2 weeks to make the movie. All you and a partner. And I know. I think you're completely on your own. You screen the film in front of your class, and then you have to sit there silently while everyone in your class, I think it was probably 20, 25 people, take turns going around
shred
critiquing
it.
your film. And you're,
Shitting on it.
Yeah, they
you're
shred it.
and you're not allowed to say anything. They're teaching you how to take constructive criticism. Chris is nodding. Chris is taking 290.
Yeah,
It's brutal.
Chris has been in the class.
It's absolutely brutal, but it teaches you so many valuables. At the time, you're like, this is fucking awful. Why are they putting me through this? But it makes you such a great filmmaker. So for my 5th film, all my films up to that point were getting better and better, and I started getting really confident in my abilities. And so I wanted to do like this really interesting, serious story about this Boy Scout who comes to sell like popcorn to this guy at this apartment. He's going through this.
I remember this.
He's
one
going
now.
through this rundown apartment complex, trying to raise money so the kids can go on a camping trip. And the guy invites him inside and then molests him and kills him.
Whoa.
Yeah. I remember this one now. That guy, I can see that guy's face. The actor you cast is perfect.
And I was so
He's
pretentious.
horrifying. He's
and I was trying to
terrifying.
make it so serious, and I don't have a serious bone in my body. You know, like aesthetically, this thing
yeah.
comes out looking goofy
I
as
can remember
all
the
hell.
shot in that like closet.
There's,
He's
like,
he's
cameras-
like got a wet face. I remember.
I attached
think.
cameras to strings. I got like cameras spinning in circles, and everything's like bright red. It looks like it was shot by some Polish cinematographer.
Can I see this someday?
I'll show it to you
We've got
guys.
it somewhere.
It's awful.
It's-
I
I
remember
remember it
staying
now.
up every night for weeks making all these fake arms. So in his like torture dungeon, you would walk in and see the ceiling is just like covered in dangly children's arms.
Children arms.
For some reason.
Children's
He
arms.
was keeping
God.
them
Yeah.
as trophies.
It was so funny because like when you're describing that to me, I was like, so it's about this Boy Scout trying to sell popcorn. And I was like, that's pretty tame for a Dez
Yeah, the
Dolly
Boy Scout-
film.
the Boy
And you're like,
Scouts, yeah.
And then he gets raped.
And then he gets raped and
He gets
murdered.
murdered. Remember that poor little kid crying in like a ball as the guy's like
Screaming
creeping
bloody
at him.
murder.
Yeah, dude, I
just
forgot about
remember
that one.
trying to direct these adults who I convinced to be in my no-pay student film
Yeah.
that no one would ever see.
To be a
take this
molester.
serious. Like now you want to diddle this little kid.
What's my motivation? Oh, well, you want to.
So you're
You
gonna
wanna diddle this
You're
this little
you're gonna
boy's
be
arm in
top
this
kitty
scene.
diddler.
Yeah, that was just one of my many disasters. The only one I wanted to bring up.
Man, I remember
was
that one.
Benji and I shot a music video for a Christmas song that
Yeah.
a buddy of ours made.
The ice skating
Just
on
like
the lake.
on a whim. It was called Ice
Annihilation
Skating on the
remix.
Lake. So the music video
Shout
we
out to
made
Sean
was called
Stender.
the Annihilation Remix. And it ended up just being this jihad torture video of this guy being tortured and his face being sliced off.
I don't know why or what, but it was this song. This buddy of our brothers in college who was like, mind you, he was like a monster. He was a couple-time All-American, like wrestler, he's a national runner-up, total beast. And he just decided to make a Christmas song one year. And it's called Ice Skating on the Lake. And he's just singing just nonsense.
hilarious.
And he just recorded it for no reason. He was just bored one day. And I was
the
bored. and I was
funniest
like,
thing we had ever heard, and we had to
yeah,
make a music
I was like,
video
well, let's
to
make
it.
a music video. So
So we
like,
thought we would play with juxtaposition. You know what'd
Yeah.
be funny? We're not going to do anything Christmas related. We're going to do a terrorist torture like Al Jazeera.
but we made it the Annihilation
jihad
remix.
video.
It was when Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out, and we just wanted an excuse to hear the guy scream Mortal Kombat. And as during the Christmas song, all of a sudden the guy just stops, and you hear the like Mortal Kombat start kicking, and then the Mortal Kombat song starts, and the video is us like
One of those. It's
just literally just ripping people's faces
ripping
off.
people's faces
That's all
off.
it
It's one
is.
of those videos where you
Makes-
spend a couple of weeks making it, and then your parents ask like, "What have you guys been up to for the last couple of weeks?" And you're like, "I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about, nothing," and you bury it. Like this is
It's-
the most embarrassing thing ever. If anyone saw what we made, they would think we were fucked up.
We
which
have it
we
somewhere.
are.
It's
to see that,
awful.
too.
I thought it was the greatest, funniest thing on earth, and it's like usual. Like high school age, you think the idea of stuff being random is funny. You get that confused with like actual like comedic taste, and you're like, oh, we'll just put different shit in there. It's funny. It's random.
Yeah.
So it's just the dumbest crap, just slammed into each
Yeah,
other.
pretty bad. We've both made feature films that didn't turn out entirely.
Yeah,
well
we have a
either.
feature.
Well, mine was a success. I don't know. What
Yours
it
is a
is.
success. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was. It was. No, it wasn't. Maybe it didn't turn out to be like that good of a movie, but like we like got like 600 people. We got like
Made
the
you guys
school. We
high
got the
school
school.
famous.
We made like the school was like erupted over this movie. It was,
Yeah.
like when we were selling tickets, there was like it was mobbed. Like we couldn't like. They didn't even form a line. They just like crowded in this like crazy semicircle.
Yeah.
And we were just like handing tickets out randomly. It was there was like we got like the local news to come and report. Like it was
But then your ego got the best of you.
well
You made
the
a
best
sequel.
well no that was the sequel.
That was the
the
sequel.
4-hour
the
sequel.
first one, the first one was like a huge success because like we just like made it randomly, and then it was pre YouTube, so it was just like on this DVD, and somehow it was getting passed around from teacher to teacher, and they were showing it to their class, like look what these like crazy kids made,
Yeah.
and then people were like, asked me like, how can I buy that? And I would just make copies and sell it to people. And so then we were like, oh, we gotta make a sequel, and we like skipped. I would like nearly like had to repeat the junior year because I was like skipping so much class just to like film the sequel. And then, I think I told this story on a previous podcast already. But
Yeah.
I've
seen it. I love it.
Yeah. Long story short, though, like we have like a packed house, and like the movie, like the movie was 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And the second to last scene, it like fades out, and everyone thought, and the movie was like killing for the first half. You know what I mean? Like the theaters erupting. It was like laughing so hard, but then like the second to last scene, they just like it fades out, and everyone was so ready to go at that point that people started like getting up, you know. And then like another scene fades in, and then the people were just like sitting back down.
Like Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Yeah, pretty
6
much.
endings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know that feeling.
That was definitely the feeling of like, oh God, what have I done?
What have I done? Yeah.
But still, like,
Yeah,
we made like special edition double disc DVDs.
That's awesome.
Of it that like completely sold out. You know, so it worked out in the long run.
Director's commentary.
It did.
Yeah.
We did director's commentary. We were just making fun of everyone.
And then jumping ahead, you guys made Laser Wars. We're gonna.
Yeah.
I'm skipping here for time.
Yeah.
People,
I'm skipping
people
your entire
dug it,
careers.
It seems like.
Yeah. It turned out really well.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you haven't seen it, it's on Rocket Jump 2.
Yeah.
Right next to this video.
Right next to this video.
Underneath it. Above it.
We're
to
going
the
to jump
side
into
of it.
some audience cues before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
A lot of people who subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or watch the video version on YouTube leave us questions, feedback. Sometimes they tweet at us. So we're going to respond to your questions now, or at least to the best of our ability. So let's jump right in. So Jasper Lewis Riskin asks, hey, a Rocket Jump tweet. What was the most challenging aspect about making the new This Week at Rocket Jump with the return of Chobot?
What do you think that was, John?
Having no budget, you know, just
It's always a tough one.
just like begging your awesomely talented friends to just do favors for you, and
You're always
do
trying to
everything for
top
free.
your last video, do bigger and better
Yeah,
with less and less, it seems like, each time around, you know?
yeah.
You guys made a dog talk.
Made a dog talk. That was
Made a dog.
yeah.
That was
That was easy compared to.
That actually was easy compared to
I think the biggest challenge was Jake's sweat glands, getting those under control.
Sweating profusely.
you had a hot costume and it's
wearing
hot as hell out
like
here
a
in LA
trench
when you're
coat.
filming.
That day when you were
Yeah.
filming, just coming through the back door here
I
with
was
us,
dre-
you
I
were
felt so bad for
so
you and
drenched.
Ben for having to like hold me.
You were so wet.
It's so
Wet.
You can see that scene too. My shirt is a different color
Soaked through,
because it's
yeah.
just sweat.
Yeah.
It is disgusting.
Dude was working.
All right. Excellent question, Jasper. Let's move on. Here's a quick one from
Jasper.
Noah Fennell at Fennel Sauce. Hey, Rocket Jump tweet. Why did you choose to do the Rush? So Noah Fennell's talking about the Rush.
Yeah. the
Rocket
short.
Jump short we
Well,
did
this is
not too long ago.
Isn't the question a bit longer than that or something?
As why did you choose to do the Rush? Well, that's just because we're fans of the game. We were developing a show at the time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ideas that came out of that development process. We decided to turn it into a short and share it with you guys. See if it's something you dug.
People seem
That's
to
the
dig
reason
it,
why we
too.
make most shorts. It's an idea we're interested in, you know? Superfan Kevin at Kevinator15 says, hey, Rocket Jump tweet. Any plans on doing any shoots in Austin in the future? Honestly, no, not right now. We don't have any plans to shoot in Austin. Austin's
Far.
You know, it's a little far. We got to take a plane to get there, and you know, filming is difficult enough just when we got to get the gear together and go shoot in the back lot. But we have plans to come back to South by Southwest in the not too distant future. So we'll definitely, at the very least, have a fan meetup, maybe shoot some podcasts, and we'll let you guys know when we're on our way.
Last one.
Last one.
You pick one of the two
Okay,
of
there's
these.
two of these from Rohan
They're
Wills.
both pretty weird.
At Rohan W. Which one do you guys want to go with?
I don't think anyone really knows enough about Attack on Titan to comment on
Okay,
that.
Yeah,
so we'll
I don't
we'll go with the first one. Man, if you had the choice to be immortal or have ultimate power, which would you pick?
Immortal. I'd gain the ultimate power.
Through
Within
being
a couple-
immortal?
Through a couple
So
generations.
you're saying the ultimate power is immortal.
What is
Yeah.
ultimate
No, but-
power? That's vague.
Well,
Yeah.
you need to define ultimate power.
Well, what would you define it? I define ultimate power as immortality.
No,
I feel like
I mean,
that sounds like
ultimate
a
power
power
would
to
be
be
like
here's-
You could die. You could die.
What?
You're not immortal. You are mortal. With ultimate, you are
But with-
ultimately
with- but
powerful,
with
but
ultimately
completely
power-
mortal.
Yeah,
completely
you're
mortal.
jacked.
Doesn't
You
sound
could,
ultimately
you could
powerful.
You can shoot
overload.
lasers.
It's a hypothetical. Go with us here.
Okay,
You have to make a
alright,
choice.
alright.
You fuck.
Whatever.
When you're immortal, you live forever, but you just keep getting older and more shriveled. You know what I mean? To the point where you're just
It's like
this
death
walking
becomes a-
raisin.
Oh, well,
You know?
You turn
And
into
you got to
What's
watch
the
all your
point of
friends
that?
die around you. You may not have money. You may be living
No.
on the
Yeah.
streets forever.
well,
But you might live long enough to get like a serum that just like makes you young again. So if you just like hold out for a while,
hold out for that serum.
you
You're
could just
golden,
be a god.
baby.
You could essentially be a god, and then they'll just be able to give you ultimate power.
I mean, if you have that ultimate power, you could use it to get this ultimate serum you're talking about, right?
Maybe not. Let's assume no.
So the ultimate power leads to the immortality.
No.
So then I want ultimate
Let's say
power.
it doesn't.
Isn't the ultimate power knowledge? What if I learned how to create my own serum? Then I don't need it, right? Then
It
I
sounds
want
like
ultimate power.
you're
I want the ultimate
answering the
power.
question
trying to
by
have your cake and eat it too,
and you can't. You have to choose.
Because
It's either the
I feel
cake-
like they're one
Would
and
you
the
rather
same.
live
Mortality
forever
is
or
the
eat
ultimate power.
Do you want to
I-
live forever or just have a lot of power?
I'd go with ultimate power
would
because
too.
I'd rather have be on top of the mountain than you might be a immortal Jack Joe your whole life. You
Can't be an immortal Jack Joe your whole life. As long as you keep like a piggy bank for a couple hundred years, just putting in pennies. If with immortality you get that power, just take some time. Ain't gonna be no Jack Joe.
gonna go-
Maybe.
yeah,
That's
I'm gonna
why
go
it's
with-
not an easy question.
I'm gonna go with immortal. I'm scared to die.
I am too.
No one knows what happens when you die.
I am
It
too.
could be. It could. If hell is real, I'm gonna like stave that crap off.
But like forever. Forever.
yeah.
Like
Guys, it's
beyond,
too-
like Earth explodes.
It's too.
I'm just floating
it's
through
too
Earth
space.
explodes
early
and
for
you're
me
just
to
floating
handle all
through
this.
space
I
by
can't
yourself forever.
Stabbing
comprehend.
myself furiously, but I can't. It doesn't
You like
work.
get sucked into a black hole and then you're stuck there.
And then I go to another
there's too much
dimension,
gravity.
and I
Oh
meet
my God,
sexy
you're-
green
you're-
aliens, and then I'm like their new king.
You're stuck at the event horizon watching yourself spaghetti because
Yeah.
you know that's how it works. If,
Yeah,
if a
and
person
you
were
can't
to
get out of it
you can't
because
get out,
of
you
the
just get
gravitational
spaghetti.
pull, but you
a
don't
real-
die either. You're just stuck there
Spaghettified.
for eternity.
That's like a real term.
You're stuck
Like,
in that
man,
white
if-
spaghettified.
If a human were to go into a black hole, you would for the rest of eternity watch yourself.
You're the star
be
baby at the
spaghettified.
end of
You would
2001.
turn into actual spaghetti.
Yes.
And
Your
Space
chemical
aliens
makeup
would eat
turns
you.
into
Turn into Buca de
This is all
Beppo,
yeah.
spaghetti and meatball plate.
Buca's favorite classic
Yeah.
classic
Wait,
dish.
that'd be great if black holes were created by like an advanced race of Italian aliens.
Spinning spaghetti.
They're up there.
Work
They're
on
up
their
there
plate.
just working.
You turn into a brick of Parmesan.
Dude, that sounds
That's so
fantastic.
stupid. All right. That's a great question. Rowan's got a lot of Rohan, I believe it is. Rowan.
Rowan. He tweets me a bunch. He sends a
John's
bunch.
like,
every once in a while.
Dude,
asking
who
these
here has
questions.
seen a frame of Attack on Titan? I dare
No.
one of you. to answer.
I've
I don't know
only
what that
seen
is.
the trailer
What is
for
that?
the live
What
action
is
movie.
that?
Cartoon.
Yeah, some
Yes,
Cartoon
Benji, it is.
bullshit.
Some
God,
sort of.
some
so
little kid
dismissive.
show.
Is that some sort of a cartoon?
I did that on purpose.
You're even wearing glasses, but you're like looking down at them, at John.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
I haven't
borrow
seen
mine
it.
if you
some
want.
nerd
I haven't
shit,
seen
you
it.
know.
I got 3 hours every Monday goes to Raw. I don't have time for this.
Oh, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Sounds
I watch
like you're
porn. I don't have
squandering
time
your
for,
free
this
time.
Attack on Titan shit.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Oh, anyway, John,
Prep
why?
for SummerSlam, man.
Why?
I don't think anyone. I mean, some people may have seen Attack on Titan.
It's on Sunday.
That's a huge show, right? A lot of
It's
people
a
like
huge anime show. Therefore,
still,
it is
it's,
still
you know.
niche.
So it's
People like
yeah.
what
So I mean, you're bringing it up because Roman's other question was: I've been thinking which type of Titan is better, the mythical Greek Titans or the ones from
Greek
Attack on
Titans.
Titan?
Game
I don't
set
know enough
match.
about the Attack on Titan Titans,
Greek
but I do
Titans.
know mythical Greek Titans have a lot of awesome powers,
The Titans are even more awesome
such
than the
as
Greek gods.
ultimate power and
Yeah,
immortality.
the Greek Titans are
So you gotta go.
unstoppable.
You gotta go there. You gotta go there.
Zeus? Are we talking about?
No, Titans are the level above Zeus. Like there's the gods of Mount Olympus, and then there's the Titans who rule the galaxies. The Titans are
So what power do they have?
ultimate.
The
power.
ultimate.
Denzel and Remember the Titans gives that speech before a game.
How they need.
They
ultimate
ruled
power.
their kingdoms with ultimate power. Let's play like Titans
So there
tonight, boys.
you have your answer. There
Make
you have
them
it.
remember the Titans.
All right, wrapping up, guys. Wrapping up. Those are the
Podcast brought to you
Those-
by
no, hold
Barry's
on.
Cherries.
Berry cherry.
Thank you very much for your questions and feedback. Again, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and follow us on @RocketJump Tweet. Tweet at us. Email Benji where, and you'll
Yep.
find the questions, and we'll read them here on the podcast.
Yep, we're going to be twitching too, twitch.tv/RocketJump. We're going to be doing that all day, every day. Laser Wars over at This week at Rocket Jump on Rocket
We're
Jump
gonna do
2.
a live stream of Jared's trial, so
We're gonna
tune
live
into
stream
that. You know, with
Jared, the
live
Subway
commentary
kitty diddler.
Yeah,
from your favorite YouTube filmmakers on.
that'll be great. We'll have live commentary
Yeah.
during prosecution and
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
And before we get out of here, you guys got any? One last thing I want to ask you from now on when we have friends on the cast. What are you playing? You got any good late summer game recommends?
Oh, dude, it's all Rocket
I've just been
League.
practicing
Smash.
Smash.
That's all that's
Getting
Practicing,
better at
really?
Smash.
I'm just waiting for everybody to get back
Now
into
that
Mario
it's
Kart.
coming back to the office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to just
Smash
kick
is a joke.
everyone's ass.
Smash is a joke.
Smash
Oh,
is a
it's
joke.
all about- I
it's all
have a
about
good
Mario Kart and the
recommendation.
league.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is hopefully with your parents' permission, if you're, but if not, if you're old enough, just download it. Don't look up anything about it. Sonic Dreams.
Okay.
They unearthed that someone hacked into the Sega Vault and found unreleased Sonic games, and that's all I'll say. Just download it; it's for free. I'm telling you.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Sonic Dreams.
Except
No,
for the
no,
whole like.
It sounds cool, but
the whole
that's what
theft
the-
idea
okay,
behind
is this like
all
a not safe for work situation?
Yes, it's
Okay.
not
All right.
actually.
What's it, porn?
It's-
What is it?
What are you telling
Sounds
people
like
to
porn.
do? Are we gonna get in
It's
trouble?
like an internet prank of some kind. Just
Don't
go
do
for
that
it.
then. Why would you tell our listeners to go
don't
get
prank
pranked?
the listeners.
You don't
Is
like
that
getting
like a
pranked?
virus?
You ever
You
been-
can't do it on our cast though. You can't like
It's not a virus.
trick people into like
Everyone's
getting
gonna
duped.
unsubscribe.
Yeah, it's ruined.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So Sonic, if you're not at work and you want to
Yes,
play
it's
John's
not-
little game, go check out.
It's.
Sonic
I thought.
Dreams.
I just thought it was very funny. It's surprising and it's dark and twisted and messed up, just like this.
Dude, I don't know what he
Podcast.
just told everyone.
All right. Well, Benji won't be checking it out. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
You guys, thanks for coming by.
in trouble.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Always good. Well, not coming by. Like we work together. I see you guys every day. So
Yeah.
yeah,
we
thanks
don't
for
have much of a
hanging out on the
choice.
podcast. Hey, Chris, thanks for recording.
Yeah, Chris, you're the man.
Appreciate it.
Killing
Benji,
Chris Waugh, represent.
thanks for producing,
Yep, no problem.
and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time.